All right, read them and kind of weep. A lot of retailers having a tough day right now. It's not that all the numbers are bad. Foot Locker showed a lot of surge in traffic, and the stock surge right and early tomorrow came out the gate up 30%. I think it's up about 20% right now. Kohl's wasn't so lucky. That's down 23%. Mixed read on the consumer, and remember, that's the driving force behind the whole economy, if you think about it. We got Charlie Gasparino with us, Scott Martin with us. So, Scott, what do you think? How is the consumer doing?
The consumer, I think, is doing a lot better than what people think and a lot better than what people have been predicting, certainly. But as we've seen from these numbers, Neil, you have poor earnings and poor outlook, and there's your boogeyman for stocks because you have these companies that are in the consumer space which have hung in there very well, and their valuations are not cheap, but they're not rich.
Right.
But these earnings misses and then the guidance being weak fills in that whole gap of saying, oh my gosh, now the consumer really is going to get weak. You're hearing it
but not all
from the
consumers,
companies. Not all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And not, well, that's the joke.
Yeah.
The high end is doing fine.
Yeah.
The high end are your spenders. The middle ground and the lower ground are struggling. So
the
those
Gasparino crowd.
The Gasparino crowd who's going to Cracker Barrel and places like that, Applebee's, things like that. Of course, we all feel their pain.
I was there in 1989. I can.
1989 meaning yesterday.
That was the only time you went to a restaurant that didn't have a tassel.
I went to Cracker Barrel. Where was I? I was driving to Florida.
I really don't
I got
care.
a job at the Tampa Tribune.
That's great.
From New York.
Could you stop?
This is a great story, though.
And I stopped at Cracker Barrel. I did not eat.
And he had the spaghetti and meatballs.
But fewer people are. We're going to get into that with Ashley Webster in a second. That could change.
Listen, I think
what do you think's driving the consumer right now?
Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, people have to buy stuff.
I have you here to tell me.
People have to buy stuff.
Understood.
Sometimes you run out of sneakers, so you got to go buy some Nikes. I still think when you talk to the vast majority of people, and even people that are considered rich, that inflation has taken a huge part of their paycheck taken out.
So they don't buy the story that it's getting better or the increase is slowing, right? They don't buy it.
Sleepy Joe Biden wouldn't be Sleepy Joe Biden right now if inflation wasn't crushing the working and lower class of this country. And he is. And the reason why is because if you look at something like a Big Mac, look at it over the last 3 years. I heard this amazing story. Someone was saying that a Big Mac is like almost tripled.
It's smaller in size.
Yeah.
And some guy went to Taco Bell a year and a half ago and got burritos for $5 and tacos for like $80.
Didn't the CEO of McDonald's say this that was an aberration? This one, was it Darien, Connecticut, that had the $18 Big Mac meal? That wasn't.
It's not even 18. It's that I heard it went from 3 to 9.
And there's one in LA
that this one was an anomaly, and that it's a franchise-operated system. 95%
average price is
right. What do you think?
Well, I think that's something that the market seems to afford too. That's the weirdest thing about. I mean, forget Darien, Connecticut. Forget about where you were going. Maybe Charlotte, North Carolina, Tampa Tribune. You mentioned for that job that I think we subsequently lost.
Sure.
But however, it's like there's that market that it can afford because folks are going to pay that. And to your point about consumers, Neil, what's driving the consumer and continue to do so is the fact that the high-end consumer is okay, and those are your spenders.
Why are all these stocks down then?
Well, some are up.
Costco's at all-time highs. Over one day.
Costco's at all-time highs.
I'm just wondering why the market is literally about 5 stocks doing really well, and they're all associated with AI. I just don't get it. Like,
actually, that's not true.
Costco's fine.
I know. You had someone on the other day. You finally. You're trying to get back into the markets. I get it. But
there we go.
Buy stuff when it's down.
So you don't buy this as some ominous. One of the papers today is talking about a big summer sell-off. Are you either of you guys?
Listen, I mean, if the Fed doesn't cut rates, and listen, I can actually see both scenarios. I can see them cutting like marginally.
Cutting rates might alarm them.
It alarms me if they do.
But if they don't cut rates, you could see why would you listen? You could put your money at these nosebleed level. I mean, just common sense. 5% on a money market fund.
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah.
That's a lot of spaghetti and meatballs. That's a lot of Cracker Barrel trips on I-95 down in Tampa. You and I could stop with Neil. We could stop at like 3 of them.
Sure.
And have that covered.
But
what did you snort this morning?
Oh God! I mean, whatever you gave me earlier.
Don't you get a lot of?
Like,
think about it. The market, the overall market, welcomes some slowdown numbers like that, right?
It does,
and that's because it keeps,
By the way, I'm only kidding about that snort.
Well, okay, I thought it was medication. It's fine. It's prescribed. But you're right about that.
Now he cares
Buy stocks while they're down. Kohl's is down. It looks horrible today, Neil. CRM, Salesforce down today. It looks horrible. Buy those stocks because they're on the sale then.
What did you make of Salesforce?
Horrible.
Yeah.
Earnings miss
What does
and
that
guidance.
tell you?
Mark Benioff does this once in a while, kind of like Jeff Bezos used to do at Amazon.
Isn't this
they have
the
these
first
bad
revenue miss in almost 2 decades?
And they've had these bad quarters. It is a big deal, but it's also one of those things where then the stock corrects.
Buy on the dip.
Yes, buy on the dip. Always buy on the dip.
Where did I read that?
And don't take anything from Charlie Gasparino that he says is medication.
By the way, you sound like Kramer today.
Oh, God. I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
He's his own man.
You sound like Scaramucci.
You know, guess what?
I have not touted crypto.
But let me ask
once
you,
today.
you wine and dine with all of these guys. What is keeping some of them up at night? What do they worry about? Is politics entering into any of this? Is this trial entering into any of this? No, right?
Listen. A lot of the people that I wine and dine with, for example, I'm gonna have dinner tonight with Dan Ives, right? Dan,
Wow.
Whoa. Well, we do this. This is
He's
regular.
the colorful dress.
Yeah, we do
love
this.
that.
We do this regularly. We go out for like once a week.
Where do you go?
We go to Ilios. We don't go to IHOP. So
dare you.
Dan is a perma bull. And Dan believes, I mean, he will be like Scott on this. And I will ask him about what he snorted to. Don't worry about that.
Okay, well,
So,
you see where Dan dresses? He definitely has good taste. Let's put it that way.
But Dan is a perma bull. And so the market, there is
Well, there are
a
those
large...
who look at the long-term
And they've been
market,
right.
and you always
Yeah,
are.
and by the way, the
man.
one perma bull that I know has been wrong, and it's Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon has been predicting a crash or a correction that you say in the summer for how long, and he keeps getting it wrong. Now he's a good CEO, very good CEO, but he's not been right about this. The other perma bull that's got it right has been Larry Fink, who will tell you there's still a lot of money sloshing through.
Cancel Jamie Dimon.
Call Jamie right now and say, dude, we've got this going. We're fine.
Not happening. You guys are great. Thank you both very much. I appreciate it. Good luck at the restaurant tonight.
Ilios, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
By the way, Don Jr. was there last night.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Well,
I
sign me
ran
up for
into
that. All right. Thank you, guys.